Well, as the vice presidential nominees get ready for their face-off in the first debate in Virginia, remember, Virginia Tech and the gun control policy issues are going to be hanging really thick in the air, particularly this time at the polls, because this November anti-gun measures are on the ballots in 4 states. 2 of them are up for grabs. Nevada and Maine probably will go a long way in deciding who wins this thing, and voters are being asked to expand background checks for private gun sales. So if voters chip away at the Second Amendment and elect Hillary Clinton, what does it mean for gun owners? Joining me now to discuss, Tammy Bruce, Bryce Reeves, and Jan Morgan. Jan, let me go to you first. I do find it interesting that these ballots seem to be going toward a yes vote in states that are up for grabs, particularly Nevada. What's the correlation there, and what does it mean for gun owners if indeed that's what happens?
Well, it's not going to happen, I can tell you that. But one thing I know for certain is this. The person behind these initiatives, Charles, is Michael Bloomberg. He's an anti-gun radical, and he's a control freak. He wants to control everything from the amount of soda you can drink to the amount of salt you can put on your food. And people in those swing states are much smarter than that. They want less government, not more government. And I think those people that are sitting at home that might not be too excited about this election because their candidate didn't get in, I think that this issue alone is going to get the gun owners particularly off their couches and to the polls, because they're going to vote against this initiative. They do not want their gun rights infringed. They don't want, a father doesn't want to have to go to an FFL dealer and pay a transfer fee to simply hand his son his rifle so he can go on a hunt. People are going to go to the polls in mass numbers, gun owners, and they're going to vote against these initiatives. And guess what? Who's going to benefit from that? Donald Trump, because he's the only candidate who's going to protect our Second Amendment.
Bryce, of course, Virginia Tech, Tim Kaine actually became something of a political folk hero in your state there, and that's going to certainly be in the air. I think even one of the survivors, a couple of the survivors have been invited to the debate. How do you see it all playing out, and how could it sway the election in some of these swing states?
Well, look, let me just tell you, last year we faced the onslaught of the Bloomberg machine. We had re-elections last year. I stood in a Democrat district myself, had the Bloomberg machine throw all the guns in every town and everything else at us, and we beat them. We beat them flat-handedly. And let me tell you something, the Second Amendment is no safer in the Commonwealth than anywhere else, but I will tell you, we've beaten that machine. We're going to continue to beat that machine. When our Attorney General last year decided to take away our concealed carry rights, I got that reversed, not only reversed and restored to the 25 states, we expanded it to 50 states. And we closed the gun show loophole, and we set up protection, permanent protective orders. Right. So we've done the right thing. So it's working, Charles. It's working. Well,
also today, guys, out of Pennsylvania, Democrat Attorney General Josh Shapiro received $250,000 donation, again, from your protagonist, if you will, former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg, who has supported these gun control measures nationwide. Tammy, you know, again, we see Pennsylvania, another one of these key swing states. It's an interesting subplot, because if Bloomberg is successful at driving votes on this, these same people may vote for Hillary Clinton.
Well, look, I know one thing we can agree on is that nobody's wishy-washy or unclear about how they feel about this issue. That's what's interesting here. So I think that you're also looking at another dynamic, whereas it's already been mentioned, Mayor Bloomberg is known. I don't think people around the country want somebody from the East Coast telling them what to do. They've rejected it so far. But I think that already the Trump supporters who go out, this is where it's an interesting issue. Normally, petitions are put on, or these kinds of issues are put on a ballot to bring people out who normally wouldn't go out. Look, if you're for gun control, you're already for Hillary. She's already made it clear she's going to destroy the Second Amendment. And if you're not, you're for Donald Trump. What they've underestimated is the force of the Trump individuals who are going to vote. That's what will also, I think, condemn these particular issues from state to state. I don't think they anticipated this. I think they anticipated an early Hillary sweep, and they were going to take advantage of it with these kinds of issues, and it's not going to work.
And we should, I'd like to point out, too, I think Mayor Bloomberg has lost the overwhelming majority of these things. He's put a lot of money into it, and they've been fought tooth and nail. Guys, thank you all very much.